Welcome everyone to the CBC 2021, the Construction Blockchain Conference. I will take you through some activities we'll have today and tomorrow. So a little bit about myself. I'm a Senior Research Associate at University College London, and I do three main things at UCL and elsewhere. So I have my consultancy, Design Computation Limited, and I chair the Construction Blockchain Consortium. I'm also academic member of a Linux Foundation Hyperledger at UCL. I contribute to the Accord project as a director of a construction work group, and I also collaborate with the technology group at the Accord project, very exciting project. My research at UCL is related to the AC industry and choice modeling. So I look into things like AI, machine learning, human-computer interaction, computer-supported collaborative design, project information modeling, build information modeling, behavior modeling, game theory, and distributed ledger technologies and blockchain. Some of the things we do at Design Computation Limited, we deal with complex build information models. I'm very fortunate to collaborate with some of the leading consultants in the construction sector, people like Hedwick Studio, Bureau Happold, Arup, Zaha Hadid Architects, Foston Partners, Autodesk, Bentley Systems, UCL, of course, and Mishkonderia. So I work on, for example, the BASO in Manhattan, the Apple campus on the cladding system, and the Beam execution plan, the Royal Theatre of Rabat, and the Google Master Plan in Mountain View. So the CBC it has been running now for a few years. We started in 2018, end of 2018, and we had our first conference a few years ago. This is the third conference, and the mission of the consortium is to facilitate knowledge transfer, research and development, education and training. So we run events like this. This is our main event of the year, but we also are very keen to support the community to develop new technologies, and this can be proprietary IP or open source projects. The Construction Blockchain Consortium is hosted at the Bartlett School of Architecture. It's led by Professor Alan Penn, Professor Philip Treleaven, who is in computer science, and myself. We have an admin and coordination group. We work with the Parliament through the Big Innovation Center. We have members in communities and international communities dealing with technologies like BEAM, supply chains, legals, and finance. And the idea is to get this research output and feed into open source technology projects. We also have activities to develop a code base. So we have a GitHub repository, and we have our annual conference. So the things we look into, especially in this conference, which is about the digital twin, are related to how we can augment design tech with this layer of management tech, to then create a bridge with a fintech. We're seeing fintech emerging very rapidly and becoming ever more sophisticated. So we're very interested in blockchain and tokenized economies. And then with that, we aim to create an ecosystem of law tech for the construction sector, and eventually get to a level that we have GovTech, and then that this will facilitate better procurement and other national processes. So we want this to be open source and industry-wide, and we want this to be adopted universally. One thing that we are very keen on is on the projects. We want to initiate our first open source technology project, hopefully this year. So just going back to the conference today. So yesterday we had our workshops. We were developing on Ethereum, Solidity, developing 3D geometry, in the blockchain or testing ways to blockchain 3D geometry with Blender and other open source packages. And today we'll be talking about policy compliance in business. And tomorrow we'll be talking about tokenization, Internet of Things, smart legal contracts, and distributed autonomous organizations. For the workshops, we had amazing support from Theo, the coordination from Leo and Claudia. And as I said before, we looked into very interesting technologies and we tried to integrate them. So conference is scheduled today. We're very fortunate to have Martin here today to give his views and his keynote on how blockchain is taking kind of the political world in a different paradigm. We have some amazing keynotes, some familiar faces, and we also will be discussing our BEAM white paper. And I'm very grateful to the BEAM white paper team, Professor David Greenwood, who will also be discussing the white paper that is almost completed, and also Jenny, Erica, Mohamed, Professor David Hall, Daniel Hall, I'm sorry, and Francis Aish and Xavier. So today, so yesterday we had our workshop with Theo, Patrick Osborne from PwC, and Mikhail, but was actually Mikhail's colleague, Dominic, who was showing how to develop the IOTA blockchain, excuse me. And then today we'll start with Martin's keynote, and we'll have 4 sessions. Tomorrow, we have other 3 sessions more focused on the technology. So with that, I thank you all for attending today, first day of the conference. And I welcome our first keynote, Martin. It's a pleasure to have you here. And then I will pass this to you now.